Good morning. Good morning. So today we're going to talk about how to connect with God. And I know that there are many people who go through the Bible and go to church, but maybe they haven't figured out quite how to really hear from God and connect with Him. So I do this on a regular basis, almost every single morning. I say almost because I'm not 100%, but I would say I'm probably between 80 and 90%. I spend my time making sure that I connect with God. And when I do this, I realize my day just goes better. I feel more like myself, and I feel like I have power behind me because heaven's backing me. Okay. So I would say this is like a how-to video, but if you don't practice it, it won't mean anything to you. So how do you connect with God? All right, here's kind of like a 5-step system. People love systems, so it does help with our brains understand that you can walk through certain things to get the result you want. But remember, the result is you just want to connect, and it takes practice. It does, absolutely. I think I've been doing this since my early 30s or maybe my late 20s even. And I've even been doing it somewhat on and off when I was in my teenage years, I would say. But one of the things you want to remember is in the scriptures, in Psalms, it says that God's thoughts of us, of you, outnumber the grains of sand on the seashore. That's an insane amount of thoughts. The human brain thinks like 85 or 86,000 thoughts a day. His thoughts are more than that about you. So wouldn't it make sense if we make room to quiet ourselves down to listen to Him? Okay, so the first step is worship music. Okay, it's really not just worship music, it's getting your heart into a state of worship to receive and hear and believe and see God from where you're at in that very moment. He exists whether or not you believe in Him, and taking time to really focus on who He is in all His glory, in all His perfection, His omniscience, which means He's all-knowing, His omnipresence, He's always around. And knowing those things help us to understand there's no way we can escape from Him other than we block Him out of our view. So when we center ourselves around worship, we are learning to get ourselves connected with Christ, with God, in a way that is acknowledging and revering Him as first and foremost. It also says in scriptures that He inhabits the praises of His people. So when you take, even if you just take one song and you say the words of that song, or even just listen to them and really focus on Him, you start to get connected. And that's like a fabulous way to start. And if you're having trouble there still, I'll go on to the second step. Even if you have felt like you've connected with Him through worship, the second step is to ask. Okay, a simple, Lord, I want to know who You are. Lord, I want to connect with You. Lord, I'm having trouble with this. Help me. Honesty, right? That will take you to the next phase of where you go. Once you ask a question, step number 3, listen. Don't let any other thoughts flood in, which is why we started with worship. If they start to flood in at this point, usually they don't, because you've already centered your mind and your heart around connecting with God. If they start to flood in, you take a piece of paper and you write those down. You put them aside, because that means your brain will go, okay, I can look at those later. And you get back to your question, you go back to worship, and you try to just listen. God, what do You want to say to me today? You notice I'm closing my eyes a lot because I internally am focusing on where He wants to take me in that moment, and you can do that too. All right, so after you're done listening, you go on to step 4, which is write it down. journal whatever comes to mind. The general basis is if it's good, it comes from God. All right? So you don't have to worry. You don't have to fear. You can write it down. It's not, even if it's wrong, it's not going to be wrong, but even if it's not what you think God is really telling you, write it down. You can go back and look at it later. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? So we worship, we ask, we listen, we write it down. And then this last step I would say is thank him. Just thank him. When you're grateful, when you're thankful, it opens doors in so many ways that we can't even see. So that is my motivational message for today. It doesn't take long. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. If you want it to take longer, it can. But I highly recommend carving out some time and some space to do this consistently. You will see your life change. Mine did. 100%. This is why my life changed. 100%. I was able to get a clear vision for my purpose in life because I did this. And you can do it too. All right. God bless you. Have a beautiful day.